keep that in mind, knowing that this is just the way you express your art form. Don't ever compromise your purest approach of expressing your art form. That's what's going to help you progress. And what people like is subjective. Just know now, not everybody likes everything you do. I'm well aware there's many people that do not care for what I do at all. And that is all right.
Very quickly, before we get into it all, just want to say a big thank you to Freestyle Session, who are bringing us today's show. We've got a special discount for all of our viewers here at Stance Elements. Go to freestylesession.com and use the code Stance Elements at checkout for 20% off your total order. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Stance Elements. I'm Chaz B. I am your host. And I know I keep saying that I am so excited for this one. I say that before every single interview. But I'm excited for this one. I've got Zoopreme from the Ruggeds and Lack of Crowns. What's up, my man? It's really good to see you.
Yo, what's up, Chaz?
Wait, what's that in the background, man? Is that your cat?
Guy. Oh, he's being mad as hell today. It's because I have two cats and they keep fighting each other because he's the oldest one. So he's been on smoke the whole day, and she, like the younger kitten, just keeps bothering him, and he's not really on it. This is Alpha, and now he kind of wants a little bit of attention. I just spent the last 15 minutes with him, so he's just greedy right now.
How do you look after cats when you travel so much, man?
My girlfriend, and then also when I'm home, we usually just spend some time and chill out with him. Cats do weird shit all the time, man. It's hilarious.
That's amazing, bro. Well, I'll set it off like this, right? Whenever we see you dance, whether it's at a local event or on the world stage, you look so fresh and so in the moment all the time. And it looks like the moment doesn't really affect you whatsoever. You just seem to dance not really the same way, because that can be an insult, like depending on the way that you look at it. But like, you just seem to dance at such a level where it doesn't really matter where you are. And I just want to know first off, like, what is your approach? Like when you dance, like what are the things that you're thinking of? What are you trying to achieve?
Well, I am. Yeah. I've seen you. All right. Hi. Uh, that's a fairly good question because it's definitely developed during time. I'm now at a point where the only thing that really matters to me is I just gotta leave with something that just makes me happy or proud of the day. Because at the end of the day, when like whoever wins the jam is gonna win the jam. When the music stops playing, our alias goes away and our regular person kicks in. So I'm just trying to look back and have like moments I really can enjoy, which allows me to not really be affected anymore about my whereabouts or what stage I'm on, because all I need is just like that one moment at least. Hopefully I can get several moments, but that one moment is enough. So I try to enjoy myself. Really, like just the most purest approach from being a kid and falling in love with this art form. Just trying to have fun and make it fun for myself. Like, all right, cool. Let me try to do some power moves this round, just cause. Like, yeah, let's just see what happens. And then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But then it's like, shit. All right, maybe next round. All right, cool. Maybe let me try to do this. Like that's what helps me keep it fresh. Like I genuinely try just to have fun on my own terms in this.
I mean, that's mad when you put it like that, because a lot of people will say just have fun, relax, taking the music, taking the moment. But a lot of the time people don't really expand on that, and they don't really talk about like what they mean to have some fun. But it sounds like you don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to win or just to sort of have to hit these certain moves.
Yeah, no, definitely not anymore. Obviously, there was a time. Everything has like a progression, right? There was a time where that had a bigger impact on, and my mental approach on breaking, and then it had a big impact on my physical approach, because then I was under the impression that you had to do X, Y, and Z type moves to advance, which I figured out is some bullshit. Like it doesn't really matter exactly what you do. It all comes down to how you do it. It's been said a million times, but it's really the truth about it. So learning how to not pressure myself anymore, because I started accepting that I might want this to happen, but there's a big chance that I can still crash, regardless how many times I've practiced this move and wherever and I hit it that time doesn't mean I'm gonna hit it this time. Like I know these are all the stakes that are being taken whenever I'm trying to do whatever move I'm trying to do. And the same with the dance. Like you don't know what you're gonna hear. You have an idea. Oh, you know this DJ is known for these songs, whatever, but you don't know what they're bubbling on in their free time. You don't know if they're gonna play new stuff. Like so, I allow myself to be comfortable in the unknown. It's gonna work or it's gonna miss. And if it misses, hey, look, man, there's another gem around the corner. It ain't that deep. You won't explode. It's okay. You know, this gives you this gives me some mental peace. And this is what works for me, obviously. You know, for some people it might be something completely different because they have to construct it and like put themselves into a certain type of mindset and mentality that helps them optimize and really break at their full capacity. But in my case, and if anybody that works a little bit just like me, this is how I work. Carefree.
Yeah, that was
Carefree.
because there was something that you said earlier about, you had to learn this. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you must have had some experiences where you weren't on point and you did look like an idiot, I'm sure. And you must have just learned along the way that in actual fact, maybe you were too hard on yourself, or maybe the way that you were approaching your training wasn't really
Oh, for
helping with
sure.
that moment.
For sure. I definitely have. There was a long period of time where there was a long period of time where um I genuinely thought that I was the weakest link, for instance, in ruggeds, right? Because whenever I go to practice, coming from where I'm coming from and having like the body type or skill set that I have, I'm used to seeing different types of amazing shit. Like two of them are super flexible and hella creative. So in the back of my mind, like you get stuck in why I can't do that, and then you try to like really progress like, immensely in that area. It's not natural to force it like that. Like you will progress, but just let it simmer, like let it come naturally. And then one has super control, one has uh crazy power moves, and then stuff like that. And then you just sit down and you focus so much on what you can't do. You feel like you have to overcompensate in those areas to be able to match them. But instead, with time, I don't know. I started realizing that I am not supposed to look like them. That wasn't the point to begin with at all, at any point. And also at a couple of heavy duty moments where like things got kind of tight, I would be chosen for like, okay, yo, battle's getting tight. All right, Rico, you can shut it down. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, the fuck are you talking about? I'm no, wait, what? Why am I getting sent out? This is weird. Boys, chill out. Like, let's be reasonable. I'm not the one, but all of them agreed, yes, you are. So they obviously saw some type of potential or capacity that I had that I wasn't aware of because I was too busy focusing on what I didn't have, quote unquote. So this, I guess, one round from we were battling Ukraine at IBE for the like that's probably the first clip that really went nuts for me, which was kind of weird. But at that moment, I kind of realized, okay, I should change my point of view about myself really in this point because I don't have the same body build as any of these guys at all. I don't look like we don't come from the same origins. So I'm not supposed to be as flexible. I'm supposed to add whatever I add into this pot. Like that's my addition. So I started feeling a little bit more comfortable about the way I dance because I would think it would look one way. And then sometimes you see it on footage and then you're like, it's not flexible enough, or it's not like the power move doesn't look like this, or and that's it's not supposed to. Like it's okay to have something to strive for, technically, but you're not supposed to look like anybody else. You're supposed to look like yourself. Period.
Of course. But then how does this work in a battle situation And I know what the answer will be. I think I know what the answer will be.
Go on.
Everyone tells you to be yourself. Everyone tells you to have some fun. Everyone tells you, just focus on what you know. But then people also want to win as well. And they're voted against and they're wondering where they were lacking. Just like what you said there. They think that they're lacking in certain areas and then they think, okay, if I work on these areas, then that will help. But sometimes that works against them. So what do you do when you're trying to stay true to yourself in
That's the
that
thing.
moment when you're being judged against?
And that's the thing also, because it's true. Most people be like, be yourself, stay true, blah, blah, blah. Authenticity is the way,
Yeah.
da, 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 da. But truth be told, for a lot of people, no, it ain't. Because they're truthfully, not everybody can transfer their authentic being into the breaking and it makes sense. And that would be like their best method of breaking. Some people has completely different lives, like regular ordinary jobs, and this is something that gives them creative free space in their mind. Like if you are really good when you have some type of aggression in your character when you battle, but you are the most relaxed person on earth, stay aggressive. It works. It's good for you. Just there's common lines of respect. Like find out what works for you. Don't just you are still yourself, but this is yourself put in an alternative version. And this is what helps like your break, if you are the finesseful, nonchalant guy, or whatever, whatever the case may be, but it's just important that that thing itself doesn't waver away from your love for this dance. Because the approach of like the way you love this dance and what about it, that it's when it comes down to character, there's like this little tiny thing that kind of sparks your imagination and like your motivation. You get like a little bump of adrenaline from it. And that approach is usually connected to some type of characteristic energy around it, even if it's being super cool or being carefree or being like, you want to be Terminator or you want to be James Bond, like whatever that may be, that's the thing that you need to do. Because truth be told, man, we've seen a lot of battles, and again, a lot of these battles, people come out and they'll dance the way they dance, which is perfectly cool. But whenever the music is off, it's a wrap. It's done. Like you were throwing, you were shooting a gun, you were like fighting, da 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 da. You're a gangster like this. Now you're standing in the same row as me, trying to get some food because you're hungry too. You know, you're in the line for a kebab. Chill out. It ain't that deep. So keep that in mind, knowing that this is just the way you express your art form. Don't ever compromise your purest approach of expressing your art form. That's what's going to help you progress. And what people like is subjective. Just know now, not everybody likes everything you do. I'm well aware there's many people that do not care for what I do at all. And that is all right. By all means, do not give a shit about me because I don't give a shit about you either. But we cool to each other. And that's the most important part. And we enjoy this art form in peace.
Well, I'll tell you this, Rico, right? You tend to hear one of maybe two things over the years. The first is that this dance is rugged, is raw, it comes from New York, and there's a certain essence around it. So if you want to really take in the culture and the essence, you really have to move like this. And then on the other side, you're saying there's too many people nowadays, they're not gangsters, they're not rough. Like just as you said, in their regular like day-to-day lives, they're peaceful and they're chill. So you should lean into that, because if you're trying to be this gangster type of figure when it's really not your energy, then but there's it's almost like the opposites. That's just
Mm.
what this is, and that's just what you hear all the time. So it sounds like what you're saying is whatever comes authentic to you, it's just what you do.
That's just what you do. At the end of the day, whatever feels most authentic to you, that is what you have to do. Because that's all you can do. That's the best thing you can do. Whenever you start to overcompensate and stuff like that and compromise it, it's very visible to see. It's super clear. It's very, very, very clear. You don't even have to talk about it, but you pick it up. Like you visually see it. You could mentally already take decisions in your head saying like, yeah, this ain't it. I mean, it's cool and all, but it ain't. It's not. It's not what you thought it was doing. it wasn't doing what you were hoping. Like the results in your head, it ain't the results on the scoreboard, man. Just try again. But if you stay authentic with it, no matter what, whatever you do like from the style or not, you would still say like, yeah, well, hey man, at least they move the way they move. You know, it's pure, it's authentic, and that's what you want at some point. Everybody that was good started out being somewhat average at some point, but they stuck to their guns and perfected, and now they're dope.
Indeed, man. And then when it comes to your like one of the last things I'll ask you, when it comes to your musicality and your focus on it,
Hmm.
where did you learn that from? Because the way that you move, it's not something that you did in a 5, 6, 7, 8, or at least if that's what it is, and just to say, but it sounds the way that you dance, it looks like it's been ingrained in you for a long, long time, and it's more of a natural thing for you.
It's definitely been one of the more natural things. I grew. Most people grow up in a household with some type of music of some sort, and dancing was always part of my family. Not to say that my mom knew how to hit like a mean air chair, you know. Not to say that was the thing, but some type of rhythm and groove has just always been part of our household. And and also as a young kid, I used to. This is funny too, because I used to go to Hot Stepper Dance Studio, and I took like a gazillion classes because the owners, Karen and Joel, or Vigo Tough Cookie and Vigo Spark, they let me take classes because my parents couldn't pay for them. But on one condition, I had to practice and become good. And
They're out of Denmark, right? Out of
yeah,
Copenhagen.
yeah. And so as a kid, I took like a gazillion classes, like a gazillion. I took them all just because I thought, fuck it, if I'm gonna learn this, I might as well learn how to dance. And not to say that that is the reason why it works like that, because it's not. Because a lot of the dance styles don't even apply really in breaking, and even the ones that do, it's about also finding like a perfect balance of how you can like interpretate it and like imprint it into your style, right? So other than that, I don't know, man. My ear just worked just like everybody else, but for some reason my mind and like the response from it is, I don't know if it's quick, I don't know if it's slow or what it is. And it's not like, because there's plenty of musical dancers in the scene, like plenty. But why it looks the way it looks for me is just part of my actual being. I don't know. I hear a song and then in my mind I can already make out, all right, how do I want to do this? And then I figure out how I want to do it, and then I just go for it. You know, that's what I call the chance ambulance. Either you hit or you miss, but it's all right, man. No, you know, risk it for a biscuit.
Hmm.
So,
Because you will see people that will try imitate that. You know, they'll see you move the way that you move, but not know how you move or where it comes from, or like the not the energy, but like you can say the approach that's needed year after year after year to form the way that you move.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because for after a while now, uh, on a few occasions, I've either have some friends send to me like, "Yo, like, hey, see this clip? Somebody's trying to dance like you, huh?" I'm like, that's so weird. But I guess I don't know. It's a compliment, and anyway. But even if I was to break down exactly what I do from A to B, it would literally still be kind of impossible for that person to even still look like me because we are not the same. So there's really nothing to fear in that sense. I get it. I'm not saying like, yeah, just do what I do, copy my style and anything, but most of the time it's like people would rather look like me rather than understand why I do the thing I do or where it comes from. Because this is usually the key thing for real, for real. Because then when you understand approaches or just concepts and ideas, it becomes easier for you to build your own. It's that like, and it's my solo. I take my time. I rush for nothing. If it's my round, like we're actually in a battle. I'm not saying, yeah, don't camp out. Don't just like not everybody can start changing clothes 6 times in the middle of a battle. I'd never do that. Like, but K-Mel, he did it, and he can get away with it. And it's not to throw shots or anything. That's just part of his character. If you ever see somebody else do that, you'd be like, bro, what are you doing? But for him, when he does it, nobody asks questions. It's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, that's part of it. So whenever I do my round, they're constructed the way it makes sense to me. Like, this is my time. I'll go fast at this section when I want to. I'll slow down if I want to. You know, I won't do a damn thing yet if I don't feel like doing a damn thing yet. Like, I'll just look at you. I don't know. It's a playground to me. Like, let me see how I can construct this. And most of the time, really, I'm not really battling like my opponent like that. Most of the times, it's my imagination, because we all have had moments when we are thinking, like, for no reason, this random round or move comes into our head, and that move is banging. I guess a 10-10 move, fully executed on the highest scale. But to do that in real life is the real challenge. But this becomes like a fun trigger to kind of like, whatever move I had in my head or whatever like thought of mine or approach, I want to surpass that physically in real time, which gives me more fun. Because then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to smoke my own imagination, but my opponent is right now the tool for it. So it's super weird. It's nerdy as hell.
I
This is
dig
what
it though. I dig
people
it.
don't get it. A lot of us that break, we are geeks. Like, for real, for real. I'm a nerd. I'm just cool with it. I chill in the back. I don't mind being nerdy. So this is a super geeky approach to it. It's just being honest.
That is sick. Well, look, we'll wrap this up. Just last thing to ask you. We'll keep it very brief. What's next for you? How do you see the rest of the year looking like for you?
All right. So the rest of the year is it's looking pretty good. Like, we got some stuff. Rugged got some stuff coming up we're working on. It's gonna be fun. Lack of Crown's getting active too. And this would also be well, now let me rephrase. This will be the year also where um Capsule Corp become way more active. And for the ones who don't know what Capsule Corp is, it's myself, Peanut, Phil, Luigi, and Keeps. So
That's
yeah,
nice, bro. That's
we
really
uh
nice.
we we'll have some fun. Yeah, we'll surface a little bit more. So it's cool. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Well, look, it's been such an honor to have you here. Thank you very much again for your time. I know there's going to be a second round. We've got so much left to touch upon. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
again, and I'll see you soon, bro.
For sure, man. Thanks for the shout out, Chaz. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for taking your time out and, helping the people get an insight in whatever it is we are thinking. You know, salute to you. Yeah, salute to the service.